Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for March 15, 2024, Vybz Kartel lawyer considers the next move after murder conviction quashed. Asset Buchanan, attorney for incarcerated entertainer Vybz Kartel, is considering his next move following Thursday's ruling by the UK-based Privy Council that quashed the convictions of the entertainer and his three co-accused. The law lords also ruled that the case should be remitted to the Court of Appeal of Jamaica to decide whether to order a retrial of the appellants. In the ruling handed down just after 11 o'clock Thursday morning, the judges concluded that the appeals should be upheld and the convictions quashed on the ground of juror misconduct. The decision was handed down nearly 10 years to the day Kartel and the three others were found guilty of the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. With the Privy Council ruling either an acquittal or retrial or on the cards for DJ Vybz Kartel Palmer and his three co-appellants Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones and Andre Madesus St. John, who have been serving life sentences for murder since their initial March 13, 2014 conviction. Kartel's attorney Asset Buchanan says the ruling is a win for his team. I can tell you certainly on behalf of the clients, they are very happy. And I know because we would have discussed these matters before in terms of outcomes. It is very significant that they are now cloaked in the presumption of innocence, can't be referred to as a convicts. That's a big thing in the Jamaican space, and the Constitution reigns supreme. He said, I was delighted at the respect that the Privy Council has for our courts of appeal. And in relation to the men, I know that the court will deal expeditiously and deal with the matter of as it is right now. While he does not believe that in the interest of justice, a retrial would be a matter for the state to try to take on now, the attorney said if the matter does go to a retrial, the defense will be fighting it diligently. Attorney Christopher Townsend said the judgment was expected, but he argued that the ruling highlights deficiencies within Jamaica's judicial system. It is a second attempt, I believe, at fairness, because remember all of these questions had passed our court and had gone to the Privy Council, and their decision was really decided on a question of fairness. Now why didn't we decide that? Why couldn't we make a similar decision that the Privy Council have made? Is it that our judicial system is not sufficiently mature? Have they sent it back to us to say, look guys, it's time if it is that you want your own apex court, then make better decisions, he contended. This shift in the case presents a blow for what could be defined as one of the greatest wins of Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn's tenure as head prosecutor. When the news visited her office in downtown Kingston after the ruling, we were told she was unavailable. The news was also informed that the DPP may be weighing her decision to comment given the magnitude of the case. Reacting to the ruling, some members of the public at the Pernell Charles Arcade in downtown Kingston compared Vybz Kartel to the likes of Bob Marley and Nelson Mandela. Some others praised the artist for his musical prowess, but argued that Kartel is too educated to have been caught up in a murder case. Every youth have a second chance still. Me no say him no fi go down. If them can look into it and see, them can give him a second chance and him come and change up him thing. But the youth, the way him a say Kartel bigger than Bob Marley, and them think they make the man influence fi go do certain things, a man argued. In Waterford, Portmore, where the entertainer once resided, one resident said the ruling was prophetic, as she had dreamt this would be the outcome. 3 implicated in lottery scam activities ordered to pay $5 million. 3 residents of Lucy, Hanover, implicated in lottery scamming operations have been ordered to pay a total of $5 million to the state under the Proceeds of Crime Act. The pecuniary penalty orders against the trio were handed down by the Supreme Court on March 7 in a case brought by the Financial Investigations Division. Keith Barrett, a 43-year-old auto body mechanic with no known legitimate source of income, has been ordered to pay a total of $1,669,550. The court has ruled that $424,030 be paid immediately, with the balance to be paid in monthly installments of $26,490 over 4 years. Non-compliance will result in the seizure and the sale of his assets. Barrett's spouse, 39-year-old waitress Davian Wilson, has been ordered to pay $970,000, starting with an immediate payment of $250,000. The balance is to be paid in monthly installments of $15,000 over 4 years. Failure to pay will result in liquidation of her assets to settle the outstanding amounts. Kelson Barrett, a 43-year-old chef who is the cousin of Keifa Barrett, has been ordered to pay $2,560,000. He is to pay $1 million upfront, with the balance to be paid in monthly installments of $32,500 over 4 years. Commenting on the judgment, Principal Director of Investigations at the FID, Keith Darian, said it is indicative of the judiciary's firm stance on enforcing financial legislation and its role of deterring similar offenses in future. The case stems from a routine check by JCF officers along Norman Manley Boulevard in Negril, Westmoreland in February 2011. The police say they stopped a vehicle being driven by Keifa Barrett with the other 2 people on board and noticed a large leather bag overflowing with cash. This triggered a further investigation, resulting in the recovery of electronic devices and notebooks containing identity information and the financial details consistent with lottery scamming. Further analysis uncovered that over a 5-year span from 2007 to 2011, the Barnes and Wilson received more than $26 million from 32 U.S. citizens with whom they had no familial ties. The transactions were conducted through local remittance services and credit unions. These findings culminated in the conviction of all 3 for engaging in transactions involving criminal property linked to lottery scamming and related fraudulent acts. Robinson demanded details on how $1.3 trillion budget will be funded. Shadow Finance Minister Julian Robinson is questioning how the government's $1.3 trillion budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year will be funded. In his contribution to the budget debate in the House of Representatives on Thursday afternoon, Mr. Robinson charged that Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark failed to fully explain the revenue measures. He questioned the Finance Minister's assertion that the revenue measures would be financed with $25 billion in estimated flows from securitization of receivables.
Now, what does the securitization of receivables mean? It could mean that the government has some monies owed to it, some assets, or some future earnings that it has sold upfront and has gotten the cash for selling it upfront at a discounted rate. But, Mr. Speaker, we don't know because the minister has not provided any detailed explanation about this particular arrangement. And in total, this arrangement accounts for $45 billion. There's $20 billion that goes to the capital budget and then $25 to support the revenue measures. I'm saying, Minister, it is not acceptable to come in the House to predicate the revenue measures on a particular transaction and not provide to the House and the people of Jamaica any details about that transaction. $4 billion later, 2 years after the deadline. And my information is that we have not counted 1 million people.
Wow. What?
Now, I have heard what the minister said, and I have heard about the plans to continue data collection. But you're going to run in a problem because the census workers are not willing to work because most of them have outstanding issues which are yet to be resolved. And we have no projected deadline in sight as to when the census is going to finish.